Gunline. Fire mission coming down, y'all. It's your host Lopez, and you're listening to the On the Gunline podcast, where we shoot the shit like we did in the past out in the field. What does that mean? That means that we just sit back, relax, and talk shit, talk what's on our mind with zero filter, zero censorship, and zero motherfucking judgment. You know what I mean? That's the way it was back then. We just talk, shoot the shit, have fun, joke around, and just let the days go by, specifically like right after fire missions or when it was done for the day of fire, and everybody would just go chop it up at the gun line, whether it's under one net where they're fucking talking about Jody's, another fucking gun line topic is, shit. What's the most disabled broad you ever fucked? I think I had one Joe was telling me one time that he fucked a this one chick who was paralyzed from the waist down. And I'm wondering how that went, I can't remember exactly. If you see me waving my arms around here on the YouTubes or on the Spotify where they have the video now, it's because I'm waving these fucking flies away. It is hot as balls in this garage, y'all. Hot as fucking balls. God damn, I love Texas. But sometimes this Texas heat can really fucking burn you out, y'all. I hope everybody's doing well out there. And specifically out in the Midwest, you guys had a derecho that just went through. I believe it was yesterday. Only reason I know what that is and what happened is because in my line of work, it's something that we heard about, and we have to file claims for them. So for all those out there, hopefully we can get y'all back on your feet as quick as possible, y'all. So anyways, I reached out to a couple of people, and mainly because I wanted to know what would be good topics to talk about. And I received pretty good answers, or replies. I think they're good topics, honestly. These are more military specific. So if any civilians are out there and wondering what the hell am I saying, I'm pretty sure you'll catch on. I mean, I'd love to hear what y'all's personal opinions are for the civilian sector. If there's any civilians out there that, didn't serve but support, I'd like to hear what y'all think. So here are some of the topics we're going to be discussing is what should the Army look like in 2030? What is the term professional? How should social media be used by leaders since you can't get rid of it? It's like trying to get rid of cell phones for our generation. So yeah, I mean, hell, where to start? Honestly, I think all those wrap into what the Army will look like in 2030. And these are just my personal views, obviously. But 2030, good night. That's another, what, 8 years from now? 8.5 years. Hell, there's probably a brand new private out there who will be making his E7 by that time. So I'd love to hear how your experiences have changed from today to 2030 if this podcast is still going on by then. Oh, speaking of which, I know I said I was going to take a break, but honestly, this is my fucking therapy. All right. This is my, even if nobody's listening, at least I know I'm shooting the shit to myself, y'all. But I know there's some of y'all out there, and I appreciate you guys, being supportive of listening to it. And again, man, I am by no means the expert on podcasting. I know I've been doing it now 2.5 years, but I always look for feedback from you all. So until I get something that says, hey, you should do this and do that differently, I'm going to keep going with what I got because, I mean, apparently it's working. I'll tell you what, though, I could tell it's definitely working against me on the YouTubes because, man, do they not like putting my shit out when I say something that is not socially acceptable, I should say. Hey, look at that. My microphone looks like fucking Mike Pence's hair with a fly on it. So anyways, let's go ahead and break this shit down, man. Let's see. 2030. If I would have stayed in all the way to, I would be retiring in 2024 would have been my retirement. And that'll be in 2 years. So right now I'd just be fucking in coast mode. You know what I'm saying? But let's say for some reason or another, I checked the blocks perfectly and I made it to the rank of command sergeant major. And I was, until 2030. I think it would be a completely hell. I think it's going to be a completely different army than what we see right now, due to the fact that the army is different from when I first came in 2004. And of course, we all know that generation to generation, the military changes. It has to adapt with the current climate, I guess you could say, of what's going out in the world. But at the same time, I don't think it should have to. I think that the whole point of being in the military, it should be available for everyone to serve, but not everyone should be able to serve. And I'm not basing that on fucking race, religion, and all that good shit. I'm basing that on physical and mental fortitude or status, or it's just not for everybody, man. But it's just my opinion that the military has now gone to catering in order to maintain specific people in, to make it more corporate. And because the climate has turned into one where everything is toxic, quote unquote. And I'm not saying that everything was great and perfect when I was in, but I knew that coming into the military, there were certain expectations of me. I was no longer going to be in the civilian mind frame or civilian sector of thinking, because my job is more than me. My job is about everyone around me. And hell, I think it, as in fucking Full Metal Jacket, it's to weed out all the non-hackers, But hey, it is what it is. In 2030, the Army's gonna look like, in my opinion, a glorified Boy Scouts of America. I mean, shit, there were already jokes about the Army being the Boy Scouts of America, but that was always inter-military rivalries, However, now with the way things are going, just the way things are, with the, cry on my shoulder type shit, it's looks like it's going that route. I hope I'm incorrect. I do hope that there are still some hard charging privates out there that join the military, expecting the military to be the military way and not the Army to be the corporate way. The Army's business is the business of killing at the end of the day. Call it whatever the fuck you want. It's in the business of killing. So you need to have that mindset ready to fucking kill. Call it brainwash, call it whatever you want to call it. It's, it's about survival. Now, if it's not in you to want to adhere to that standard of being able to pull that trigger, then, when necessary, or to take a life, when you have to, then you're in the wrong business. Even if you're an S1, even if you're fucking Seaburn, if you're fucking a goddamn fueler, you have to be in the mindset that you will potentially one day have to take someone's life. And if you don't think you can do that, then you shouldn't really be in. You're a liability at that point. So in 2030, I believe the Army will be corporate. Probably basic training will be shortened down to like maybe 1 month. And it's probably going to be a lot of pass the PT test and height and weight, and complete all these courses online. Okay, you graduated. Now you could have a Zoom meeting graduation. That's the way it looks like, that's the way it's going. That's how we're breeding these kids and raising them, And what do you guys think? Of course, I'm looking at the worst case scenario, but being realistic, I mean, I believe that even fucking uh PLDC, WLC, BLC, whatever the fuck it's called now, your primary leadership course, the one that was before fucking being, it's not BNOC phase one anymore. The one that was before ALC, advanced leaders course. Yeah. The one for your first leadership course as a non-commissioned officer. All right. I think that is done now online, or it can be, because I think that some personnel did it online while the Rona had hit, which, I mean, what the fuck? Are we going to just be doing our fucking PT virtually? Are we going to be doing combatives virtually? That's great. How do you fucking do land nav virtually? I don't fucking get that. We've become so dependent on technology. Technology is a great thing, but we should not be a technologically driven organization. We need to know the basics on how to do shit degraded or analog or non-technologically before advancing to technology. Learn how to fucking shoot an azimuth and walk that bitch. Learn how to goddamn do terrain association with a map. And I don't mean online where you click and push a button. I'm talking about give a motherfucker a map, give them a goddamn lensatic compass, and throw them out there to fucking do their land navigation. They got to learn. Now, once they learn how to do that, then you teach them, okay, this is how you use GPS. Because you know what? You're not going to have that digital capability at all times. The thing about technology and digital is that it's fallible. It's going to fucking break, and you're going to be shit out of fucking luck, especially if you don't know how to get from point A to point B. Hell, if motherfuckers at least know how to fucking determine which way is east and which way is west, that's a big motherfucking win for them if they know how to do that, but I don't know how many motherfuckers even know how to determine that, Anyways, sorry, starting to go on a tangent there for a second. But yeah, in 2030, I hope our military isn't a joke, or looked upon as a joke. I want us to be well trained, ready to fucking deploy in a moment's notice to go handle business when business needs to be handled. But I don't see the wars of the future being fought like they were traditionally. This is going to be more of a campaign that is going to be again through technology, man, but at the end of the day, in order to hold ground that you've gotten, you will need the bodies there to hold it down. And with that, it's not just infantry. All right. Yeah, I get it. Infantry's all hua, like, yeah, we kill and all that shit. Eventually you're going to run out of ammo though, right? And in the wise words of the motherfuckers from supply makes bullets fly, or bullets don't fly without supply. That's a fact. That is a fucking fact. If anything, just look at the Ukraine and the Russians. I mean, they had a nice little convoy that was pretty much stopped. I mean, you're going to need your fuelers for fuel. You're going to need your motherfucking cooks. You're going to need everything. So at the end of the day, we have to work as one. So every single one of y'all, whether you're a motherfucking S1 clerk or a supply clerk or a fucking fuel specialist, or even if you're a motherfucking mortuary assistant specialist, whatever, you can't just carry that weapon as a motherfucking ornament. That weapon is on your hands because you may have to take a life one day. I tell you, like, to me, the most realest moment when I knew shit got real for me was in Kuwait back in 2005 when we landed in Kuwait. And they gave us our initial load of, our initial combat load of fucking 210 rounds. That's when shit got real. They were like, all right, here's your fucking rounds. Start loading up the magazines. And you're in there, click, 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 and putting them in your motherfucking in your magazine pouch. And I knew that some of those bullets may or may not have some motherfucking Haji's name on them. That just came down with it. The first time I fired a weapon at someone out there, my stomach dropped. I'll be fucking real with you. My stomach straight dropped. And but I wasn't gonna hesitate. I mean, I didn't hesitate. I fucking thought it was a threat, and I popped, and we Charlie Mike. You know what I'm saying? Can't be fucking second guessing. And because you never know when that vehicle could have been a V bid or not. And like my NCO Chuck Landis told me, do you think that it could have been a threat? And I said it could have been. And he's like, well, there you go. You know what I'm saying? So that is what it is. I mean, you can't hesitate when it's time to fucking do it. Because the moment that you hesitate, it'll be the moment that you lose your life, or God forbid, whoever you're with loses their life and you survive. Because now you're going to have that motherfucking guilt on your head that because I hesitated, these motherfuckers lost their life and I'm over here now. You know what I mean? And that was some of the shit that went through my head. Because on my first deployment, I was a gunner on a Humvee. I was the lead gunner, in the lead gun truck. So, I look at it now, and yeah, that was a bit of responsibility that I had on my hand. If you see that picture above my head, right there where my finger is right now on the YouTubes, that's me on top of my 1114 up armored, quote unquote up armored Humvee. That bitch was not up armored. That bitch had we threw on some armor on top of it, but let's be real, that shit didn't do nothing, man. All it did was, I mean, it probably would save the lives a little bit more, or maybe just slow the impact down depending on the size of the IED. Or if it was an EFP, forget it. That's just going to go through it like butter on a hot knife through butter, But as you can see up there on top of my motherfucking, in the cupola, that's me right there, up there, if you can see it. We didn't have a Pope shield at that time. I didn't have that plexiglass around me. That shit came up to about my waist. Right there, I'm sitting in my Cooper sling. And I loved every fucking minute of it, man. When I think about it, hindsight, man, it's fucking... I was listening to Courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue. I don't know why that fucking song popped up on my motherfucking YouTube mix. And it almost got me teary-eyed, man, because it seemed like there was a time in the military where motherfuckers had pride in what they did, and god damn, it felt good to be a fucking soldier. Yeah, you bitched. Yeah, you complained. But, at the end of the day, you were proud to be a fucking soldier, And I don't know if a lot of the bitching that a lot of these motherfucking cats do on social media is because they no longer have that sense of pride. That pride was put into us in basic fucking training. Drill Sergeant fucking Cabrera, Michael Cabrera, old 13 Bravo. I'm pretty sure he's a sergeant major by now if he's not retired. He was my fucking drill sergeant out there in Fort Sill, Oklahoma, in one station unit training, Delta Battery, 1st Battalion, 22nd Field Artillery. That motherfucker was a character, yo. Joke to yourself, Lopez. Oh, man. But I'll tell you what, one thing he did do was he motivated me, and fucking, he gave me a fucking hard on when he started talking about field artillery. Like, I don't know if he was faking the funk or not, but this motherfucker made it sound like field artillery was the greatest thing since sliced fucking bread. And he instilled that into me. Hence why I love the fucking field artillery. And I tell you what, I love the field artillery because it's also a small fucking community. For example, one of my best fucking friends, my brother from another mother, Miller. You know who you are, Miller. There's only one Miller that knows who I'm talking about. O.J. Miller. He ran into one of the co-hosts of the podcast out there in a certain location out in the Midwest, and they ran into each other, man. And that's cool because I got to see two of my best homies kicking it together. You know what I mean? I can just imagine the shit talking they probably did about me too. Now I know why my fucking ears were ringing. Motherfucker. I bet Miller was telling that story about me running into the goddamn center beam inside the trailer that was our battalion at the time when I got kicked out of the fucking E6 board. Anyway, oh my God, dude. But yeah, I don't understand, man. I mean, if you got, check this out, young soldiers, if you're out there and you have battles, right? You have your battles with you. Isn't it enough just to vent to them and bitch to them about how fucked up your situation is at the time? Or do you really have to take it out to social media so you can get that fucking 15 minutes of fame that was promised by Andy motherfucking Warhol? Really? I mean, is it really worth it putting not only you, but your unit and your army on blast? You can't just keep it between you and your other homies that are there. Or maybe if it's that much of a big fucking deal that is bothering you, just do your fucking 3-4 years and get the fuck out. You don't really have to go in there and be little bitches about everything. You don't. Y'all ever heard about keeping shit in house? Is that something that's no longer done? Keep your shit in house. And no, I'm not talking about the sexual assault, sexual harassment, and all that shit. So don't come at me with that shit. I'm talking about your basic bitching and complaining about toxic leadership because they're asking you to meet fucking standards, because they're asking you to get a motherfucking haircut, because they're asking you to take care of your motherfucking uniform. You motherfuckers nowadays have it so fucking soft and so fucking weak, y'all wouldn't be able to handle it under my old Smoke Norwood. Smoke Norwood would not play that shit. I'm telling you that right now. That motherfucker. But you know what? He also gave you the will of wanting to come in looking squared the fuck away on Mondays. On Mondays, your motherfucking uniforms, your BDUs were pressed so fucking beautifully. Those motherfuckers could stand on their own. Those motherfucking boots, black, but they were shiny as fuck. I'm talking about mirrored, all right? Motherfucking mirrored. Haircuts, every motherfucking haircut, nice and high, get a good little fade going. Cool, if you wanted to have all those liberties with your hair and all that, you should have been an officer. You know what I mean? Go do officer shit. No offense to y'all officers. Y'all officers do great things. But I'm just saying on the NCO and enlisted side, God damn it, I have a goddamn image of what a soldier is supposed to look like. This is what I had growing up, an image of what a soldier is supposed to look like. And it wasn't what I currently see on the social media. There's some in there that are really fucking hard charging bastards that it gets my dick hard fucking watching them smoke the shit out of some people. Now let's get something straight, y'all. Not everybody is fucking gonna learn with being hammered down on. You know what I'm saying? Think about it like this. And I don't know if I'm using this analogy correctly, but a nail and a screw. Okay, they both can do the same fucking thing. All right, they can both hold something or get pushed into a wall. They could both put it like this. You got drywall. You got a motherfucking 2x4 in the back. You need that bitch to be hung in there. You could either use a screw or a motherfucking nail. All right, cool. You got a hammer with you. The hammer's going to work perfectly with the motherfucking nail, right? Cool. You got that nail up in there, that fucking drywall into that motherfucking 2x4. Then you got the screw. The screw, while you can, in theory, use the motherfucking hammer to pound that bitch in there, is it effective? Is it effective? No, it's not. So you got to use what? A motherfucking screwdriver. And even with that, are you using a Phillips or are you using a fucking a Phillips or a motherfucking flathead? You know what I'm saying? So that's how leadership needs to be. That's how you need to look at these motherfucking soldiers. You know what I mean? Yeah, you could use the hammer on it. It could get the same, it'll get the same results eventually at the end of the day, but wouldn't it be easier to achieve those results instead of fucking hammering against a screw, just using a screwdriver? I mean, hopefully y'all understand what the fuck I'm talking about because it makes sense in my motherfucking head. But with that being said, y'all, um, yeah, in basic training, you do start off with a whole lot of fucking yelling, a whole lot of cussing, a whole lot of fucking mind games. It's the whole thing. That's the whole point of it. That's the whole fucking point of it. You know, and if you're already crying like a bitch within the first week, then you got to go, chief. You got to go because you're gonna go through those trials and tribulations until you get to the good shit at towards the end of OSUT or basic, which is your drill sergeants start becoming more lax. They talk to you like a fucking human. But for the first 2 weeks, it was red phase, motherfucking red phase. All right, every day you're a piece of shit. You wake up a piece of shit. You go to sleep a piece of shit. All you are is when you take a shower, you're just a shiny piece of shit. That's all it is, you know? And if you couldn't take that for 2 motherfucking weeks, bye, motherfuckers. Nice to see you. Because when the shit really goes down and bullets start flying, they ain't going to be talking to you, in a nice, gentle voice. Hey, can you please pass me that? Nah, bro, it don't work that way. But anyways, 2030, still fucking trying to see what that's going to look like. Shit, I mean, if some of these NCOs that are in right now, these non-commissioned officers, these sergeants and staff sergeants, corporals, start molding these young privates, PFCs, and molding them right, teaching them, that sometimes sometimes you got to go through a lot of hard shit in order to enjoy and value the good shit that comes after. So don't turn my army into a fucking corporation. I know you already did that by starting with a 401k. Fucking garbage. Just because the army looks like a good social experiment doesn't mean it should be experimented with socially. So get rid of the fucking social media. NCOs out there. I saw one female. I don't know who she is or what she was, but she was on there because nowadays to reach fucking Joes and Janes, you have to use the socials. So there was this one lady. I'm gonna assume she was a sergeant major, and she was out there, putting out information regarding AR 670-1 and hair links and highlights and shit like that. I mean, there you go. That's how social media can be used. You know what I mean? Use it that way. Use it responsibly. It's like alcohol, okay? It's like fucking alcohol. Feel me on this. Just hear me out. Alcohol in moderation is a good thing. There's times where you can act like a fucking retard on alcohol, but it's not during work time, right? It's on your own time. Same thing with social media and the military. When you want to act like a jackass and like a dumbass, do it out of uniform. Do it on your own time, not in the army time or military time. Whenever you're going to bring up military shit on social media, make it so that it's something that's either a positive, bringing light to something positive, or recognition where it needs to be. Positive fucking influences, and putting out information that needs to be gotten. That's what I think it should be as, if it's going to be used. Because like you said, I mean, like the homie that wrote this up to me, like you said, it was like us and cell phones. I mean, think about a cell phone nowadays. It's basically in your pocket all the motherfucking time, and before that, I mean, motherfuckers had to go to CQ. Hey, any messages? Yeah, you got a message here, whatnot. That's how it was done back then, But anyways, just when it comes to the military, nobody forced you into the military. So if you weren't forced into the military, then the military shouldn't be forced to fucking adhere or conform to you, because you're the one that joined the motherfucking military. The military didn't join you. All right. So with that said, Quit bitching about it socially on social media. Bitch about it to your friends amongst the barracks out in the gun line. You can bitch about it all day on the gun. Come over here and bitch about it to me. That's fine. And trust me, dog. I was a private one time. E1, nothing on my motherfucking collar. And boy, did I do some bitching. Specifically on motor pool Mondays when I'm out there with a motherfucking push broom cleaning the goddamn line. And then Bravo Battery decides to roll by with their goddamn vehicles and just ruin my line that I just spent the whole fucking morning sweeping. Ooh-wee. Boy, did that piss me off. But anyways, or, having meeting after meeting after meeting. Oh, goddamn. I get it. But guess what? I re-enlisted. You know why? Because I fucking love the military. So if you've got more than one motherfucking contract under you, you have no right to bitch about the shit that you're in because you decided to stay in it. All right. Now that you decide because you didn't have a plan to get out or when you got out, what the fuck you were going to do, that's on you, baby. 2 tears in a bucket. Fuck it. You should have thought about that shit. If it was up to me, I'd still be in. Shit, I'd have 2 more motherfucking years and I'd be Audi 5000. Audi. My idea was to do my 20 and I'm out. And I have no idea what the fuck. Well, what was I talking about again? 2030. 20 fucking 30. I hope in 2030 that there still are motherfucking NCOs that are like the ones that I came up with. The ones that made an impact on me, because there were shitty NCOs that nobody's going to deny that. There have been shitty NCOs throughout the Army's career, throughout the Army's 247 years. Happy birthday, by the way, Army. Happy motherfucking birthday. And I'm a day late and $1 short on it, but whatever. Yeah. 1775, 14 June. God damn. So the Army is now 247 motherfucking years old. That's 247 years of greatness from the field artillery. Can you just imagine what those first enlisted men must have had it like, when the inception of the Army became, like, what would they say about the Army now? I'm sure that they say we'd have it a lot fucking better, which is a goddamn 1,000% truth. And again, every generation is going to bitch about every other generation. But you know what we didn't do to our generations prior to us? We didn't call them vet bros because they had standards or because, they would talk shit. But for some reason, this generation of pussified motherfuckers, anything you say against them, is a vet bro. You know what? Vet bro for life, motherfuckers. I take that name. I will hold that shit up high. Call me whatever the fuck you want. Spell my name right. Lopez. Vet bro, motherfuckers. Hopefully we go back to 2030. But unfortunately, I could wish in one hand and fill the other hand with shit. If you don't know that analogy, you're too fucking young. So anyways, for some reason, I just thought about motherfucking in 2030, the Army's going to be full of women with beards and fucking men with titties. Oh my God, dude. I don't fucking know. I don't know. What do you guys think? I'd like to hear your thoughts, man. On the gunline at gmail.com. If you have any thoughts on that, on the gunline at gmail.com. Or you could go ahead and, if you're on YouTube, just comment it in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you all. I do reply. I will reply. And also, on the comments, wherever this podcast pops up, I don't know what the metrics look like on this. So I don't even know how many people are hearing me or listening to me, if anybody at all. But I appreciate y'all. So, yeah, Let me know what you guys think 2030 is going to look like. I mean, I think it's going to be a fucking shit show. But you know what I was thinking about too, dude? I'm not even going to bullshit y'all. Earlier, I was fucking just sitting around over here and I was listening to my music on YouTube. Yeah, after you hear so much music, it fucking creates like a playlist and shit. Out of nowhere, courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue comes on. Angry American, from back in the day. And it took me back to, I was looking at the video because the video was filmed obviously after. Anyways, I'm looking at the video and I'm looking at the soldiers in it and the airmen and the motherfucking everybody that was, military at the time. And god damn, they seemed like they were fucking patriotic as fuck, like they were proud to be motherfucking soldiers, airmen, sailors, Marines. There was pride in it. And I'm not talking about the gay kind, I'm taking that word back. There was pride, bro. Motherfuckers were, goddamn, just, you could just sense it through the fucking video of all things, just looking at their emotions. And I wonder what the fuck happened to that. Do we need another motherfucking event to bring us together again to be fucking Americans? Do we need that? Because we just keep dividing ourselves over and fucking over. Again, I'm not a big political motherfucker, but I'll call a spade a spade. Biden ain't doing shit for me but making my gas go up and pay a fuckload of money for fucking groceries. All right. And all you bleeding hearts that fucking ride with Biden, go fuck yourselves. I would much prefer the mean tweets from Trump than something that's actually affecting my pockets, because Trump was affecting my pockets in the positive. But hey, to each their own, right? Let me know what y'all think about that shit. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all still riding with Biden? Or are you kicking yourself in the ass because you were too fucking weak and were fucking pussified, because Trump had mean tweets? Oh, boo-hoo-hoo. Oh, Trump's a racist. Ooh-hoo-hoo. Is he though? Why? Because you don't like him? He's a racist if you're a minority. If you're a woman, he's a sexist, and anything that he says or does, look, I'm not saying the motherfucker was the most intelligent motherfucker or articulate person in the goddamn world. By far, no. But honestly, none of that shit affected my motherfucking pockets. All right. Whatever he was doing was making my pockets and my shit looking good. My stocks, my investments were looking great. Just saying that. So hopefully by 2030, we don't have the generation of riding with Biden. The unfortunate thing is we're going to have the generation that grew up, with motherfucking, I guess there's some shit going on with drag queens at parties now or some shit. I don't educate myself on these things, ladies and gentlemen. I am just a motherfucker talking shit and giving you uninformed opinions. I don't watch the news, y'all. For real. All I saw was something about motherfucking drag queen parties or some shit like that. I'm gonna tell you right now, my kids will not, cannot, won't not attend any fucking fiesta that has anything like that. Negative, chief. Negative. Bullshit. Sorry. 2030. Oh my God, dude. So what should the army look like in 2030? What should it look like, or what will it look like? It should look like it did in 1970, 1980, 1990. Hell, even 2000, 2005. I'll go to 2005 because that's the year I came in, was in 04. And God damn, man. If we could just keep that, it would have been great. If we could, in the name of progress back to regressing to 1990s army, that would be great. I didn't know the army then, but my brother was in the army. My brother Ramiro, he was in the army. He was an infantryman. Um, and I'm just saying, they look squared the fuck away. So it should look like we're not mimicking any societal trends. It should look like the army is the army, the civilian sector is the civilian sector. There's a difference between them. There's a reason that, you know, you kind of hold your head up a little higher that you were in the military. You know, the civilian sector, there's a reason the civilian sector says, thank you for your service, you know? And speaking of thank you for your motherfucking service, I just thought about this shit. You know what? I was, I went to somewhere. Where the fuck did I go? Was it a drive-through? I think it was a drive-through. I'm pretty sure it was through a drive-through. Yeah, as a matter of fact, it was a drive-through. And homegirl was just really pleasant the whole time. You know, it looked like a frustrating motherfucking day for her. You know, long ass lines to get their fucking food. You know, and these people are unsung heroes, y'all. Now, I'm not saying they by far earn $15 a motherfucking $15 an hour minimum. No, no. Until you get my order 100% correct, no, absolutely fucking not. But what I'm getting at is that, you know, I thanked her afterwards. I was like, you know what? Thank you for what you're doing here. You guys don't get this enough, but you're working your asses off, having a fucking stand up, listen to people bullshit and give you attitude all goddamn day, or fucking dealing with irate customers, smart ass customers. You know, I work in customer service, and maybe that's why it fucking hits me a little deep. That because I know when I got chewed out and yelled at, yes, I completely understand. No, I know it. Yep, I completely get it. Dude, that shit gets tiring, you know. And at the end of the day, especially out here in Texas, you're standing up, you're working in the fucking heat. Yeah, I'm sure there's fucking air conditioning in those goddamn McDonald's and Burger Kings and whatnot. But when you're working by the fry engine and all that shit, is gonna be pretty hot, bro. I never worked, you know, fast food. So, but still, I'm just saying, we got to give it up. Can you give those motherfuckers a bit of a hand? Like, you know, thank you for your motherfucking service for real. Motherfucking baristas in Starbucks and motherfucking anybody that works in a goddamn drive-through. Have you ever seen what the rush looks like at lunchtime? Can you imagine what it's like having to fucking deal with that shit all day? It's an organized fucking chaos, y'all. Think about the Gunline, organized fucking chaos. That's what it feels like, you know, like, you know, menu order or whatever, you know, menu mission, fucking food mission coming down. All right, we got large fries, strawberry shake, Big Mac. You know, having to remember all that shit. And for some reason, I just reverted to fucking Ice Cube and Mac 10 on fucking Tadao. How you like me now? I'm like, yeah, yeah. What do you say? Welcome to McDonald's, man. I please help you. Yeah, you can help me, punk. Give me all the money or I'm dumping. That's on my mama. Hey, homeboy, while you at it, give me large fries, strawberry shake, Big Mac. Could this Mac 10 for life? Can I roll with you? Come on. What can I do? That's the name of the song. What can I do? Ta-da. Anyways, as you can see, I'm all over the place, man. But yeah, 2030, man. That's what it should look like, but what it will look like is going to be. Holy fuck. You know what it's going to look like, y'all? Honestly, what I'm thinking is going to look like in 2030 in the Army. For those of y'all prior service, you know, when we watch fucking movies like The Hurt Locker or fucking, you know, what's another good one? All those movies where they have the uniforms all fucked up and you could tell that they're all fucked up just by looking at it. That's what the average soldier is going to look like in 2030. Like those fucked up uniform standards that they show in the movies, where the Velcro is all the way up to your throat, fucking put up with the hat all fucked up, you know, boots untucked or, you know, blouses untucked. Well, blouses aren't, but the blue blouses, they're going to be all, anyways, that's what it's going to look like, fam. But y'all tell me, And then the next one was, what is the term professional? So to me, professional is a trained expert. That's what my thought of. That's what I was told at one time, a long time ago. You know what a professional is a trained expert. But we're going to go ahead and ask old great Google here. What is a, you know, what is a trained fucking bullshit? God damn it, I fucked up. What is a professional? Oh, shit. So I asked Siri and she said, I don't know how to respond to that. I think it's because I said all that shit. Hey, Siri, what is a professional? A professional is a member of a profession or any person who earns their living from a specified professional activity. Okay, so basically a trained expert is what I was going with because that's what I was taught. And I've always used that. So what is a professional soldier? Well, a person who earns their living from a specified professional activity. Your activity is to be a motherfucking soldier, a professional soldier. Doesn't mean that you're a, you know, you know what? I'm going to stop because I couldn't put those words together. You're a trained expert, man. You're a professional soldier. That's what you're supposed to be, a professional fucking soldier, a professional fucking military service member. If you are that, act it. Be the part. Be the part that you signed up to be. If you don't like it, get the fuck out. Get the fuck out of the fucking military. You know, it's too easy. You can quit. You know you can quit, right? The military? Yes, you can. Get a couple of Article 15s. Patterns of misconduct, baby. Get them on out. So I'm sure that there's, or be the adult, finish your motherfucking contract, and get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. But if you're not happy doing what you're doing, again, you're the one that signed the contract. So fulfill it. Fulfill it. Be the man. Be the woman. You're going to bitch about it? Bitch about it to your motherfucking folks around you. Don't put it on social media. And last but not least, shit, I already hit on all those, man. I already hit on all those. So yeah, I think 2030 looks like social media should be used by NCOs and leadership in a way that's going to be beneficial to the active duty service members. And if you get busted doing something stupid on social media, you got nobody to blame but yourself. You know, I'll tell you something, quick story. In Korea in 2007-ish, 2007, 2008, around that time, probably 2008 already. Me and a certain LT got fuckered up. And we were back in the Ville. And no, actually we met up in the B's. And fucking you know, there was some combatives that went down with some enlisted, some, you know, some lower enlisted, some privates, and one of them happened to have a camera, and one of them happened to record it, and somehow or another, my first sergeant caught a motherfucking snippet of that video. Thankfully, you know, there wasn't YouTube or TikTok or none of that shit at the time, because it probably would have landed on there. But luckily, it got to my first sergeant. My first sergeant chewed my motherfucking ass out because I was a young E5. You know, I was still making that separation from, you know, specialist to sergeant, which no excuse, but alcohol kicks in. And we just got fucked up and did dumb shit. But anyways, but at the end of the day, nobody fucking got hurt. Nobody got injured. It was just the fact that, you know, there was an officer, I guess you could call it fraternizing with the enlisted. So that, and then, you know, leadership being drunk, and, you know, anyways, it was fucking, it's Korea, y'all. It's what happens in fucking Korea. It's supposed to be like Vegas. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, except over there, you know, there's a lot of motherfucking juicy girls with babies. I'll say that. But anyways, So it got to my first sergeant's hand. He chewed my ass out. He chewed out the LT's ass out, but it never went beyond that, and that was it, man. And it didn't make it to the social media. I think MySpace was out by then. Yeah. MySpace was, I think, there. But I mean, that was it, it didn't go on the MySpace. So cell phones could get you in trouble back then, but I think that luckily there was enough restraint not to put it, or there wasn't a technology yet to put a video that you recorded on MySpace at the time. So either way, I don't know where I was going with that, but anyways, just be careful what the fuck you do. And if you get busted doing something retarded, hey, do what your collar can handle. That's what we used to say, right? Do what your collar can handle, chief. And well, nowadays it's going to be your fucking chest. So do what your chest can handle, man. There should be, I did hear something though, which was pretty interesting, which was Fort Drum. And I don't know why common sense is such a lacking thing nowadays, but it's true. You shouldn't be fucking bothering a Joe after 17 or 1800 with any kind of business that needs to get done, unless it was something that needed to get done before COB. But then that's on you for not checking on the Joe to make sure that the shit was done. Because you could always delegate authority, but you can't delegate responsibility. At the end of the day, the responsibility is yours to make sure that shit got taken care of. Now, if you fucked up and didn't go check on Joe accomplishing his task or mission, then that's on you, motherfucker. So that means you have to stay there and go do the shit that Joe fucked up and didn't do. Then you can have that conversation with Joe the next day. However, at the end of the day, it's your fault. So yeah, there's no need to be fucking bothering them. And before 5, unless there's something urgent coming up or something where my Joe needed me to go get them, there's no reason for me to be communicating with them. So yeah, I could definitely see how if there were motherfuckers that were bugging him about work shit after work, that's bullshit. You shouldn't, there should be no need. So anyways, it's just a shame that it had to be brought to that attention, because now Joes are fucking, I guess, claiming anxiety or stressfulness because their work-life balance is getting fucked up due to constantly living in fear of like, shit, should I respond to this text? Should I not answer this text? Should I not look at this text? So I'll tell you what, whenever I texted my Joes, I did it as mass text. And that was it, man. I always I expected a response, which could be a Roger, simple RGR. And that was pretty much it. Or motherfuckers, of course, put like Hua, whatever. As long as they got it. I just needed an acknowledgement that they got it. Other than that, I did not want to have a conversation. Because you know what, dude? When I was at home, I wanted to focus on home. You know what I mean? Now, the only time I would focus on my Joes is I took care of my fucking Joes. Let's get that straight out. Fucking one of them, I'm not going to put out his name, but you know who you are. He got fuckered up at the barracks. We had just gotten back from deployment. And he ended up at Evans, which happened to be right across the street from where I lived at over on Kiowa Village. And I got a phone call to go and pick him up. I went to pick him up, brought him straight to my motherfucking house, put him to bed. Good to go. I'm not going to fucking bitch him out or anything like that. The motherfucker was drunk. He had a good night. It just happened he passed out and they thought that he was fucking overdosing on alcohol or having alcohol poisoning. He was all right. He was just drunk. If you're listening to this, just send me a shout out. You know what I'm saying? You know who you are. But anyways, fuck, where was I going with this, dude? I fucking forget, y'all. I don't even know where I was going at with this. I completely lost my train of thought. But yeah. I hope y'all enjoyed this time here with me. I appreciate y'all here being with me. I got a fucking shrink appointment tomorrow. Hey, check it out, y'all. I got a question for you. So there's a lot of things that I'm learning from this fucking this shit that I'm going through with my shrinks. And one of them was actually pretty fucking interesting, man, about like behaviors that we had before the military and then behaviors that we needed to have in the military, and then how they are now out of the military. And let me just pull this shit up, see if I can find it, because it'd be easier for me to read it rather than sound like a goddamn idiot right now, like I am. But it's pretty interesting, man. I mean, because it was funny as she was saying some of the shit. I was thinking to myself, like, God damn, um, some of these motherfuckers are just pussies. But it was because at the same time, my family dynamic was like one of those of like, how what was expected of you? How were you expected to like show emotions when you were a child? How was that looked upon? And then how was it looked upon in the military? And how is it looked upon now? Something of that sort. And I'm trying to pull it up right now. It's gonna take me a minute because I suck at this bullshit. And I gotta go to my mail. And it's gonna be in my fucking it's on the fucking va.gov bullshit. Hey man, if y'all need any help with your claims and shit like that, I'm not a fucking expert at claims, but before you go spending money on some of those fucking resources that will do it for you for a fee, reach out to me. Reach out to me, and I may not give you the best fucking answer, but I guarantee you I'll do it for free and I'll guide you to the right place without having to charge you your fucking back pay that these motherfuckers be. That's what pisses me off, man. When you're supposed to be a veteran helping another veteran out, but then you have a motherfucking business that's ripping them off. Dude, you were that fucking barracks lawyer snake. That's what you were. And you're taking advantage of motherfuckers that really are trying to fucking get their proper dues, but you're fucking ripping them off and you're taking advantage of them. It's like a motherfucking E6 taking advantage of a motherfucking E1, or a E5 in my case, taking advantage of an E1, taking me to a motherfucking dealership to get a goddamn vehicle at like 18%, 21% interest, knowing that was fucking wrong as two boys fucking. And then you still say, yeah, go ahead and get it. And then finding out later on that you got $400 every time you brought a motherfucker over. So yeah, that's what that's akin to. All right. You're a piece of shit if you do that. I'm just saying, you're a piece of fucking shit if you do that. Shit. All right, let me see. I'm pulling up my paperwork right now. I was able to find it. Now I just gotta fucking open it if I can figure this one out. But yeah, dude, it was a trip. Like I was thinking about it. Like, man, how true is that? How true is it that? Where the fuck is it, dude? Oh, there it is. So I'm going through this shit called stair sessions, STAIR, like the stairs, and it's basically a way to analyze what the fuck you're doing. I guess you could say. You know what I mean? It gets you in touch with your touchy fucking feelings, and I know not a lot of us get to fucking are too kosher with that. But for example, so here's one of the examples, and I'm gonna throw this out to y'all. And I want you to for real fucking answer me, y'all. Put it in the fucking comments on the YouTube. In the fucking YouTube. If you're not subscribed by now to the YouTube, if you're not hitting likes, if you're not fucking giving me dislikes, if you're not even fucking commenting, bro, you're not helping me out. I need y'all to help me out by doing that so the algorithmic shit could fucking pick it up, or else it's gonna be the same fucking 20 of us here every motherfucking week. And we should be growing more than that, y'all. But anyways, so social influences on our emotional experience. All right. So here are 3 questions that I want you to think of. Which emotions should you feel? How should you cope with emotions? How should you express your emotions? All right. So I want y'all to listen to those again. So here's the question in total. What are the messages you have received about your emotions throughout your life? Okay. I say again, what are the messages you have received about emotions throughout your life? For example, as you were growing up, what emotions were you supposed to be feeling? What emotions should you feel growing up? How should you cope with emotions? Again, this is growing up, by your family, by your teachers, by your friends, by those around you. How should you express your emotions? How were you taught to fucking deal with that? How to express your emotions, how to cope with your emotions, and what emotions you should feel. I want you guys to hit me up with that. Growing up, how were you supposed to handle those? And then I want you to flip it. The same three. What emotions should you feel? How should you cope with the emotions? And how should you express your emotions? But this time, rather than growing up, I want you to put it into the military aspect, into your military fucking part of life. When you were in the military, which emotions were you told you should feel? Or which ones should you embrace, I guess you could say? And then how should you cope with emotions while you're in the military? And when in the military, how should you express your emotions? So how do you express your emotions? How do you cope with emotions? And which emotions should you feel when you're in the military? And then if you're a veteran now, how do you flip those three questions to the community that you're in, or to your society? In society itself, what emotions are you supposed to be feeling? How should you cope with your emotions? How should you express your emotions? So I'm gonna fucking work this one out with y'all real quick, all right? If y'all want to listen to this shit. As a kid, growing up with my family, my teachers, and my friends, which emotions should you feel? So the emotions I should be feeling, I should have been feeling were, happiness, um, fucking hopeful, um, careless, just openness, that's what which emotions I should have felt, or which emotions I should feel, you know. And that's what I was told I should have felt as a kid, and then how should you cope with emotions? Now, that's a different one. Um, how you should cope with emotions would be like, what emotion are we talking about? Like, are we talking about getting boo hoo hoo emotional sadness? That was not one growing up that you could express, or that, the way you should cope with it is bottling that shit up, honestly. So how should you cope with your emotions growing up? How was it? Bottle up your emotions, unless you're expressing positivity, as long as it wasn't the gay kind. And what I mean by gay, I don't mean the homosexual. I mean shit that'll be like, man, you acting like a gay motherfucker. If y'all know, y'all know. And how should you express your emotions? Again, it depends on which one it is. Depending on the emotion. If it's an emotion of gratitude, you express it. If it's an emotion of sorrow that you have on your own, you keep it to yourself. All right. So in the military, what emotions should you feel? Well, emotions, I would have thought be more like you want to feel anger, you want to feel rage, you want to feel pride, you want to feel, and I mean the real pride, not the one that's been used for this month. I'm taking it back, and those are the emotions that you should feel, proud, worthy, um, when needed, anger, um, how should you cope with your emotions in the military? Again, depends on that. A lot of times we were told, suck that shit up, drive on, and you had to, you know, because you know what? The day before, you were probably involved in a motherfucking roadside blast and took out two motherfuckers. And guess what? Next day, you're going to be out there again rolling them dice, baby. You got to fucking, and they started trying to get better with it too, have you talk about the emotion, talk about it. But I will put a but there, growing up in the society that I did, or many of us did, you didn't do that. You didn't express that type of shit because you didn't want to look weak. You know what I mean? And so you can never show weakness, because if you show weakness, then you look weak and you're going to lose like authority, or you're going to lose any kind of respect. That was a thought frame, at least that I had at the time. Okay. So I'm not saying it's the right thought frame, whether, but it was just what I had. And then how should you express your emotions? Same thing as back as a kid. You don't express emotions. You don't. Straight faced. And the emotions you do express are pride, fucking. And then let's say Haji, you killed a couple of Hajis out there, you express fucking joy, and you barbecue and you make fun of shit. So I think humor was a big one, that was one that that we definitely developed. And then now in society or in the community, society and the community says that you should feel everything, be very touchy feely, start doing that ASMR shit on here and start touching on the motherfucking microphone and doing all that shit. Does that sound? Fuck all that bullshit. That's not for me. How should you cope with your emotions? Again, society is all about like, there's got to be a limit, y'all. And then how you should express your emotions. Again, society, the community, they're all about show it off to the world. I believe that there should be some kind of motherfucking what's the word I'm looking for? There should be some kind of limits to how you express yourselves or the emotion, because I mean, depending on it depends. And that's some of the things that I'll say about this treatment that I'm doing right now. It's kind of difficult to answer some of these questions because they're very generalized, and it sucks because it seems like it's almost like one of those gotcha questions. Like there's no in between. There's no fucking in between. It's just, how do you feel? How do you cope? How do you do this? And if you don't do it, then you suck balls. So anyways, all right, y'all. I think I'm done for today. I'm done. They gave me this fucking log over here that I'm not going to fill out. It's called a feelings monitoring form. And it talks about the triggering situation, the feeling that you had, the intensity, your thoughts, your behavior, your intensity after, and the effectiveness. All right, let's talk about this one then. Triggering situation. Seeing something like this is fucking stupid to me. All right. Called a triggering situation. I find it to be fucking retarded. All right. So what am I feeling? I feel like this is pointless. I feel like it kind of pisses me off. So I guess it feels anger. So the triggering situation would be for me is being given these documents that I'm looking at that are supposed to help me find myself. And what feelings do I get? The feeling I get more is what's that word? Apprehension, or like doubtful. That's what it is. The intensity of it, I'll say it's a 70 out of 100, 80 out of 100. What are my thoughts? It's fucking retarded. All right, what's the behavior that's coming from this? Yelling. I'm yelling, or anger. I'm kind of like raising my voice. But they want me to do a breathing exercise. The breathing exercise is kind of like taking a smoke, I guess you could say. And the intensity is dropped. Obviously, it has dropped. It's gone from like an 80 to now like I don't care. So I guess breathing helps you. For me, I guess probably just take it in, think about it. Like, is it really worth getting this angry over a fucking piece of paper? Nah, it's not. So was it effective at the end of the day? Yes. Ain't that about a fucking bitch? I just learned something real time for y'all. This paper does fucking work. God damn it. All right, y'all. With that being said, I think I've had enough of this. My ass is going numb. I'm tired as fuck. I hope y'all enjoyed my ramblings for the day. I'll catch y'all here next week sometime, hopefully. All right. So with that said, March order. Rounds complete. Intermission. Gunline out. March order, motherfuckers. God damn it. I can never turn this shit off right.